Thank you for tuning in to Chillcast. Rolling in with Chillcast.
Basically, I just looked up the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner. It doesn't have the O at the beginning. It says, "Say, can you see?"
But that's wrong.
It's wrong.
That's inaccurate.
That's
Right.
inaccurate.
And then in the middle of "We're so gallantly streaming," it has the word "yeah" in it. We're so gallantly, yeah, streaming. I'm being so serious.
Yeah, we're streaming chat. That's just what
Yeah.
it sounds like. Well, I mean, give Google a break. He thought it was "We've got stripes."
Okay.
We've got stripes.
We've
That
got
was
stripes.
We got stripes. I'm sorry. Do you have stripes? We have stripes.
We got stripes. Hey guys, welcome to Chillcast. Today we have a special guest, Brian.
Mm-hmm. I'm new here.
He's new. Aiko, would you like to introduce Brian?
Yeah, we're so excited to have him here today. This is Brian, my friend from high school. He was my section leader for so long. We're just so glad to have you here, Brian.
Yep. Glad to be here.
Now I know you're new to all of this like setup process, but what was your favorite part of putting the set together?
I think it was putting together the lights. I've never done.
Boring. Okay, how was what was your favorite part of putting the set together?
I don't know. I like that light back there.
The red light?
Yeah,
Me too.
it's pretty cool.
You know, I actually got it secondhand. I ordered it from Mercari. I'm sorry.
I was like, do I talk now? Do I,
I told her it was
react?
boring. Anyway, I ordered that light from Mercari, and the guy was selling it for like $80, and I talked him down to 40, which I feel like is like an achievement.
That's half price.
Mhm.
That's pretty crazy.
That's what happened with my clarinet. The person was selling it for 80, and then we got there, and they're like, "Nah, it's 40. It's fine." They didn't know what a clarinet was, apparently.
They saw the band student in your eyes, and they're like, "I know he needs
I know
it."
he needs it.
You
Still
can
using it
master this
today.
instrument.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What do you think? What year is it?
It's the year 2025. It's January. I think it says Thursday on my watch. But I'm Aika. I'm Asian. Yeah, he's my friend. Getting to know this person. Yeah. What I think?
That's the host of Chillcast to you.
Oh, I'm getting to know this host, Alex. Great host.
Great. I'm such a good host.
Anyway, continue.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything.
What is something coming up that you've been procrastinating?
Procrastinating?
Something that you know is due soon that you've been procrastinating on?
I don't turn in anything on time. My college applications to UNG here actually is like next week, and then I have a couple assignments due that I haven't done. I haven't turned in my hours for my internship in about a month. Yeah.
I will say, as far as college stuff goes, you might want to turn that one in on time.
Yeah. But I'm not doing recommendations for here, so I probably shouldn't take as much time. SAT scores, and that's about it.
What was your favorite? Did you take the ACT?
No.
Okay, so you just took the SAT?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if this is like a shared experience, because I definitely experienced this when I was taking the PSAT, but did you ever partake in the memes associated with the PSAT?
No.
There were okay, maybe I'm just imagining it, but like when I took the PSAT, it was like a lot of what got people excited about it was because they knew there were going to be very specific questions that would lead to people making memes about the really specific questions. And then them being funny for like a few weeks and then them dying off. Like that was like a whole thing that I experienced in high school before taking the PSAT.
I'm completely lost.
No.
I've never.
You never had that kind of experience?
No.
Because I remember clear as day, I was in my AP Lit class, right? and we were about to take the PSAT. And this one guy next to me was like, "Oh man, I hate this test, but I'm so excited for the memes that are going to come from it." And I was so confused by that. I was confused by that initially as well. And then, like a few days later, like I think Sarah or somebody sent me a meme where it was like, Jim Johnson, when the ink writing on a message in a bottle is purple and not black, and it shows like a shocked face.
Yeah.
And that was referencing a specific question about someone
Oh, yeah.
being freaked out by the color of the writer's ink and on a piece of parchment. And I was like, it's not funny, but it's like really funny because I know exactly what it's referencing.
And it makes no sense to anybody else. I remember, when I took the PSAT, I was just like, you guys told me about that, and I was like, okay. And then literally a few days later, I was just like, ah.
No, that's crazy. I've never seen it with the PSAT, but with the AP exams, like especially a couple weeks after the AP exams, there's so many things about like people complaining about the questions and making jokes about it.
People are memeing on it?
Yeah, pretty much.
What, in your opinion, what is the most useless test you've ever had to take in your high school career?
You know those like career aptitude tests?
Maybe.
I think we were required to do that one year, and I did it, and it took like 3 days to finish.
3 days?
Yeah, I wasn't there when they originally did it, so I had to do it during a Bronco block or something. And I don't think I got my results. Or maybe I did, and I just didn't understand them or something, but it was just the dumbest thing I've ever done. And I sat there in the media center for like 3-4 Bronco blocks in a row. And then, like, I don't remember any good coming from it.
So, like, it's...
But, yeah.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bronco block is like your homeroom?
Yeah, sorry.
Period.
I forgot you didn't.
Sorry,
It's
some
like-
people aren't privy to the deep lore of your high
see.
school.
It's like
There was a lot of deep lore to our high school.
It's like it's technically you do have like a main homeroom that you like have to go to at some point, but every other day it's like you choose where to go. Like, oh, I need to do something for band, you go to band. I need to do something for ELA, I need to go to ELA.
Yeah,
So
I had something similar at my high school. But yeah, that test, I remember taking something like it now that you mention it. And I understand its principle, like it's supposed to make you like kind of figure out what you want to do in life, but really all that takes is just like dedicating some class time to, hey, go research what you want to do. Like look up some things and, you know, maybe go to these like this blah blah.org and check out these careers and stuff like that and figure out what the requirements are and, you know, what you have to study and encourage people to do their own research on it. I don't get the idea of having to spend 3 days, as you said, taking a test to figure out what I want to do when I kind of already have an idea, you know.
And I, like every time I've taken a career test, I've done it a couple of times before because people keep telling me to do it. Like I get like mathematician or like the most absurd ones, and I just don't. It just doesn't. Oh, once I got lobbyist.
Lobbyist?
Yeah,
That's
like
a job?
a political lobbyist.
That's...
Like they recommended it for me. Basically, that's a job where you bribe politicians. Do you know what a lobbyist is?
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah,
I'm just so
right?
taken aback by this.
Like it recommended, yeah, you would be great as a lobbyist. I was like, hello.
That's almost like cartoonish. Like I feel like that's like the punchline to a skit. Like you'd be a great lobbyist. Like
What are you calling me?
am I a people person? Am I evil? I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
like how, you know, the algorithm was like, okay, she's great at engaging with people. Hotel manager? No. Therapist? No. Lobbyist.
It's not even like a salesman, like a car salesman.
salesman
It's
would
a
be-
lobbyist.
Salesman would be a great,
Yeah.
much better like thing to spit out on like your receipt. You know, instead of like, you'd be great at bribing government.
Bribing the politicians to do their dirty work. It's just crazy stuff.
That
And
I kind of want to see a screenshot of that. Do you
wish I
have
had.
that?
It was years ago.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I remember getting it, and I like looked it up online, and I was just really confused. Yeah, I was like, that doesn't sound very legal, but okay.
I mean, it's
An
very much
official-
legal.
What's your major? I'm majoring in lobbyism.
Lobbyist.
Lobbyism. I don't know.
That sounds fake, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past the university to have a program that teaches you how to professionally lobby
Oh,
politicians.
you're a lobbyist without a degree. Don't waste my time.
No, but I've actually considered it. Like, it'd probably be a mix of marketing and political science or whatever. And you could probably, like, I feel like I could probably do good.
I've had both great experiences with political science majors and negative experience
Yeah.
with political science majors. And I will say, I mean, I guess, you know, because of where I kind of line up politically, you know, I feel like, you know, oh, you're entitled to your own opinion, whatever. But there are just some people who kind of, they're majoring in that, and they use some of their talking points to disguise the fact that they just hate certain people. And they talk around certain issues, but in reality, they just actually just hate certain people. And they want to find ways to support it that seem like they're not just straight up racism. And it's kind of, it's just very awkward. But I will say that's not very rampant. I've only seen like one person say stuff or have like stuff on their like laptop stickers on their computer that say very negative messages and stuff. So it's not very common. Yeah.
Well, when I get uncomfortable with a political conversation, I just say, "Oh, can we not get political?" Do you think that would work in a political science class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys,
Guys,
the major has been shut down.
Let's not get political right now.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Professor instantly fired.
Yeah. So you were saying earlier that you are interested in majoring in psychology.
Yes.
So we're going to kind of transition into more of a serious discussion if we can help it. Why do you have a calling towards that major?
I don't really know. So this sounds like really terrible, but as a kid, I would look up a bunch of like mental illnesses and stuff. Cause all my friends were a little crazy, and I don't know. It was just slightly interesting. And then that sounds so bad. Oh my gosh.
No, continue.
But then I don't know. I've always had an interest in how why people are the way they are. Like not like just mental illness, obviously. But for me, it's more of what makes up someone's personality. Like I took AP Psych last year. I did pretty good in it. I enjoyed the class, and I think my favorite part was learning about the parts that make up a person's like personality, like their inner traits and how they show themselves to each other.
How you want people to perceive you, how you change yourself. I took an elective called personality psychology. So if you pursue this, there are definitely classes that go over specific like psychological principles regarding your personality, like different scholars who have created certain tests to accurately, depending on your opinion, test one's personality. So it's definitely taught if you want to learn more about it. I mean, if you're really that interested, like, and you just want like a book, I have a personality psychology textbook from the class that I took. So if you ever want to borrow that. But what do you see yourself doing with psychology?
So that's the problem. The thing is, I feel like, especially with the stuff I'm interested in, the only route to go is maybe a therapist.
Therapist?
But I don't want to be a therapist. Oh gosh,
Why
I'm
is that?
so bad at being nice to people. Like, I'm just not, I don't see myself as an empathetic person at all. Like, I just can't, I mean, I would love to help people, but that is not my calling. In the nicest way possible.
She actually called me up and said, "I'm going to be on the podcast or else." So
yeah, I was like, if you don't, I'm like breaking into your house.
Yeah, well, this is the first time that having a guest on was the result of a threat rather than a request. So I'm open to new experiences.
Yeah,
so
it's a first time.
it's a first time for everything. I wouldn't be so quick to discount yourself as not empathetic. To be a human, you have to have some level of empathy, and I think you have a perfect amount of empathy. But from what I can tell, I think maybe you're more interested in the research angle of it, or just understanding things, right? So you don't want to be counseling people. You want to research personality psychology. And there's ways to do that as a career. I mean, you can get into applied psychology and do research. And even when you're doing your undergrad, you can do that research with professors as advisors, and you can do like what I've done, go to conferences in Atlanta and Orlando and present findings and stuff like that, if that's what you want to do. I'm just kind of guessing because there's a lot you can do with psychology as a degree. But if you don't want to go the like interpersonal route of like actually having to talk to a lot of people and you're kind of like me, I'm more introverted when it comes to certain things. Ironically though, I want to be a school counselor and I want to counsel people, so I'm kind of trying to work on that fact that I'm very introverted. But it's very, what I'm trying to say is it's very possible to get into a career that you actually enjoy with what you're interested in. So, well, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I gotta think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some things to think about now.
I will say if you get into research, there's a program called SPSS, and it hates you.
Oh.
It doesn't even have to know you. In the words of my quant professor, SPSS is not your friend. And it hates you.
What is it?
They say that because it's one of the most notorious programs to work with.
Oh.
Because like if you don't do certain things and type things a certain way, it won't understand what you're doing. Like, yeah, I'm putting in the fact that this participant is male. Oh, so you want to put in the date. Okay.
Oh.
Like that kind of stuff. Like if you don't really know how to use it, it's unforgivable.
Okay, I'll stay away.
But no, ironically though, I'm doing research right now, but I enjoy the like putting together the studies and stuff and the conceptual part of it, like thinking about how to measure or operationally define certain concepts.
Oh gosh.
But I don't enjoy the data part. I'm terrible at math. I hate data. I hate SPSS.
That sounds terrible. That's like the AP Bio flashbacks.
I never took AP Bio.
Oh really?
Tell me about AP Bio.
It was terrible. It was way too much data. We did a whole unit on like, what was it? Data stuff, like the operational
definition.
Oh gosh, it's so bad.
Really, you worked with like data in AP Bio?
Maybe it wasn't like the same kind of data, but it was more of like you have a bunch of numbers and you're supposed to find the this. Like it was just straight up math in AP Bio.
Mode.
Worse than that. It was the what's it called? I can't remember. Yeah, it's not gonna come up. But it's like stuff. It was terrible. Do not recommend. It's not like you're gonna take it, but I do not recommend.
Do you think that AP classes are? Do you think that one company owning the means to allow you to look good for colleges is fair?
That's a deep question.
And while you think on that, this is the part of the show where I make sure that the camera is recording.
Okay.
Because I always have that like sudden rush of fear, so.
I hope the mic's tilted because I'm talking this way.
Make you up.
Okay, good. I'll be scared. Anyways.
Anyway.
I didn't come with an answer. I think it I don't really know, cause I feel like schools should push it more.
Should push AP stuff more?
In general, because I think there's a lot of people out there that can definitely take it and do well. It's just not pushed that hard. I feel like
maybe they convince themselves they're not ready for it.
And there's the way that the school systems like really divide like the advanced kids from the not advanced kids.
I see that.
And I feel like there's a lot of people who aren't taking like crazy honors and APs that would be able to do the same kind of things. that are capable of it. Definitely.
Well,
Interesting.
that's all the time we have.
Interesting.
Okay.
I went to my lawyer.
Okay.
Shoot.
Remember that thing that I did in
Oh yeah.
in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
We can't discuss it. I'll
Oh,
call back.
shoot. Okay.
But yeah, there's a certain, not phenomenon, but there's like a term for when like a teacher or like educational people, like staff, will see a kid who kind of like gets in trouble or isn't doing well and convinces themselves that that kid will never do well and then treats them differently because of that. There's a certain word or phrase for that. I can't remember it right now. And I feel like that happens today in schools currently, where kids who maybe, get off on the wrong foot, maybe they act up or whatever, but they're really smart deep down.
Yeah.
But people in the education field don't want to even try to see their potential or don't want to try to guide them to the right resources because they just don't like them or think less of them because of they did this or that. And I can definitely see how stuff like that can lead to less people trying to seek out AP classes or trying to take more honors classes. I do think that there's also another end to the I think some kids are pressured too much to take AP classes and are pressured to take too many AP classes, because I remember days where like some of my friends who I took AP classes in high school, but I never took more than like 2 at a time, I think, maybe 3. And their whole schedule was filled up with AP classes, and they were just miserable. They weren't sleeping well. They'd have to wake up like super early in the morning because they were just exhausted. They couldn't finish their work that night, and they'd have to wake up before school to work on more homework, and just constantly feeling stretched too thin. And it did a lot of damage to a lot of my friends because they were so stressed all the time because just the amount of work and the difficulty of that work was just too much. And I think there needs to be a better balance. So like, while I do agree that more people need to be kind of guided to take more advanced courses and given a chance, I also think that some people need to be told that it's okay not to be taking everything and doing everything all at once, So yeah, that's my TED Talk.
So I did take 4 AP classes last year.
4?
Yeah, I took 2 my sophomore year, 4 last year. I'm taking 3 this year. And how I've managed to do it is that if you get a B in that class, it still counts as an A. And I'm taking absolute full advantage of that. And so I think I don't really overwork myself because I give myself some slack in that case. So I've managed to hang on, but at the same time, like, I'm really lazy. And so, like, I don't worry about that stuff. So for people who really, like, it really does stress them out, like, I know friends who really, like, screw themselves up over AP classes. And I do think it's a problem, but at the same time, it is, oh, but you're talking more like you don't have to take as many. Like.
Well, no, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
But like, there's the kids who aren't taking any, or that should be kind of guided to take some, and then there's the kids who already understand that and believe that they're capable, but they're doing too much at the consequence of sacrificing their own mental health.
Yeah.
So like, it kind of goes both ways. You need to be encouraged to do the best you can, take rigorous courses, but also understand that your mental health takes precedent. So, yeah. But it's kind of crazy. I've seen people who do super well in high school get to college, and then they're failing classes left and right. And these are gifted kids, right? Qualified, gifted kids, took AP courses, and they're just failing classes, and they're writing on reports on Rate My Professor, which is a website that you'll probably want to get familiar with when you go to college. I do the crazy thing, the absolute insane thing, and you just go in blind when it comes to taking a course with a certain professor. But
Are you insane?
yes, I actually am. Which I'm glad that this past time I did not do that, because I almost took a class with a very, very hard professor that was infamous. So, where was I going with this? I completely forgot.
I'll keep
I
that
was
in mind though. Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea what I was talking about. Something about class, college,
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
Oh,
one of
kids
those.
failing stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like these same kids who are really gifted go to college and they're messaging in the class group me like, I'm failing this class. How do you guys study? How do you do this? How do you do that? And some people, I think it is legitimately them having trouble, right? Adjusting to college or whatever. But some people, I think they've gotten to this point and they don't want to put in the work. And I say that very lightly because I realize that everyone's circumstance is different. But I've been in I was in this one psychology course, and every class I would take notes. I would take the quizzes in between the classes, and I would read the chapter of the textbook, and that's really all that the class demanded, right? There were not really that many extra assignments. I just did that, and I passed all the tests. I did really well. I ended up with an A in the class. And every single week, people were like, I bombed this test. I bombed this, and oh my gosh, he doesn't teach us anything. And I'm like, are we in the same class? And
Yep.
so my advice as you go into college, wherever you end up, keep trying. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like even though there is Rate My Professor, make your own opinion of the professor. Just like you.
see.
You did a bunch of stuff, and from your perspective, the professor was good. But to the people who didn't do that stuff and thought the professor was bad,
That's so real though.
like, it's just, I never, like in high school, definitely, I never took anyone's opinion of any teacher. I never took it. Like, I made my own opinion because most of the time, the people who were complaining are not doing too good. So, there's my TED Talk.
Okay, so we always ask our guests the same question before we end the podcast. Your solution to world peace, go.
Everyone be nice to each other. Mind your own business. That's it. Mind your own business. I think that is a very good solution.
You're
To do some things, not all things.
You're the first guest that's actually answered correctly.
Really?
Yeah, Josh said something that I can't repeat.
Yeah.
So
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, was he like the kill everyone? Like, if you like Thanos, like
I won't say he does kind of look up to him in a
Oh.
way.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to admit it.
Mm.
But he kind of
Yeah.
like to himself. Whenever we were working together at Ingles, he would kind of pretend he had like a Thanos gauntlet on his fist. Whenever someone would yell at him, he'd be like, one day. So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he worships Thanos, but like,
I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
see, that's a good quality to have. You understand world peace, but you get the Thanos perspective
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's very
Like, it makes
admirable.
sense.
I'm very open-minded. Like the Attack
Logistically.
on Titan perspective too, whatever perspective that is, that's just kind of kill everyone though. So.
Oh, yeah. Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. I watched
Have you seen the ending of Attack on Titan?
I'm on the last book. I've been reading it and I'm on the last book and I haven't gotten the last book.
So, can we even
Don't
say?
don't spoil it for me.
Well, we're not going to say how it ended,
Okay.
but we're going to kind of wrap up the podcast with this fact.
Okay.
I've seen the first and second season, and Brian's seen none of it, and we watched the last episode when it premiered on Adult Swim.
And we both have the same opinion about it.
It's the ending.
Don't say anything. Don't.
I will say it's probably once you think about it, it's probably one of the best endings to an anime ever, especially one that's been going on this long.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
it's
it's not the
It's
one. It's not the one.
definitely an Attack on Titan ending.
Oh, I see.
That's all I'll say.
I see.
But thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you
us.
guys for letting me come on here.
Yep.
I did enjoy it.
And, let me know what you think you want to go for in your career and everything. Very excited that you're at this point and everything.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not either.
One thing I will say, when it comes down to it, you have to decide what you want to do. You can't do what you think people will want you to do. And whatever that ends up being, as long as you're happy with what you're doing, then you'll be fine. So.
That's deep. That's deep.
Thank you guys for watching. We thankfully cut out most of the racist stuff that Brian said earlier, so it should be a smooth conversation. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.